With the Philadelphia Eagles falling off a cliff at the end of the season, which once was a promising start to the season when the Eagles were 10-1, the Eagles finished the season 11-6, losing 6 out of their last 7 games, and then going into the playoffs in a wild card matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road and playing one of the most embarrassing games that you've ever seen in Philadelphia Eagles franchise history. A lot of questions are being asked. Questions about the GM, questions about the coach, questions about the talent on this team, and questions about the quarterback. Has Jalen Hurts regressed? We've all seen a difference in Jalen Hurts this year. There's been times where Jalen Hurts has looked disinterested. There's been times where Jalen Hurts has looked unprepared. There's been times where Jalen Hurts has looked like he just doesn't have the talent that we need him to have. Now, we know Jalen Hurts is a very talented quarterback. We understand he squats 600 pounds. We know that he's able to make plays with both his arms and his legs. But how is he leading this football team? Are the players on the football team following Jalen Hurts? Is a product of what we've seen during the last 7 to 8 weeks of this NFL season a product of Jalen Hurts' leadership? Well, there's questions about Jalen Hurts' leadership, and Hugh Douglas was asked just about that very thing.
The last couple of weeks and what's been leaking out, Seth, is there some issues with Jalen's leadership style. Now, when I say that, I don't need Jalen to run around slapping everybody on their helmets, high-fiving everybody and being, that guy. But there's something where there's a little bit of a disconnect. And I tell you what, I haven't been here this long. Ike and you guys, you've been here longer than me, so you know what Jalen has been and how he's taken this meteoric rise. But from the time that I've gotten here until now, Jalen seemed like he was in lockstep with everybody. It seemed like everybody liked being around him. I remember reading stories about how he worked out with everybody on the defense and the offense, and he worked out in the weight room and he would lift with everybody. Now, this is not a knock on anybody, but Donovan didn't do that with us. And I thought that was a big deal because, quarterbacks are treated differently. They're treated differently than everybody else. So when he was doing stuff like that, I just thought he was a little different. And now you hear that there's a disconnect between him and some of his teammates. And I don't understand that. I need to understand what is that and what is all that about where, this is the guy that led us to a Super Bowl last year. And now we're hearing rumors in the locker room about guys don't like him or the way that he's being treated. I need to figure that out at some point. I know the coaching part about it is huge and we got to figure that part out. But I wonder, I need to know why his teammates are feeling some kind of way about the quarterback.
Okay, that was Hugh Douglas on his thoughts on Jalen Hurts' leadership at the quarterback position, all right? And I got to tell you, man, it gives me a little pause. It gives me some things to think about, man, because, you can lead in a lot of different ways. Some people lead by word of mouth. Some people lead by example, all right? There's various different ways that you can go about doing that, man. But when you're the quarterback, all right, you've got to be the one galvanizing piece of this football team, all right? Nick Sirianni always talks about connection, communication and connection, all right? That's a very big thing. Now, whether or not you're hanging out with the guys afterwards, whether or not the money has changed you some, all right? Now, listen, you can't say the money hasn't changed because, listen, there's certain things that money just enhances, all right? And the thing is that maybe you were something or you were a little bit of this, all right? Now you got the money, right? Now you are a lot of bit of this, okay? So when you were a little bit of this, follow me now, okay? Maybe when you were a little bit of this, it was tolerable, okay? Teammates, coaches, other people on the staff, they can tolerate that, all right? But now that you got a whole lot of money, okay, now those small things that they can tolerate are now big things, and maybe they're now becoming sort of intolerable, if you follow my drift here, okay? So Jalen Hurts has to find a connection. There was something going on this year with this football team. None of us can put our finger on exactly how this Philadelphia Eagles football team fell off of a cliff. We've seen skirmishes. We've seen A.J. Brown be upset with Jalen Hurts. We've seen Devontae Smith have some emotions on the sideline. We've seen Dallas Goedert in his last game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Absolutely disgusted with Jalen Hurts, all right? Why? What was the reason? What were they talking about? I don't know. But what I do know is that from my own two eyes, when I watch Jalen Hurts on the football field, I see no emotion. Okay, I see a guy that's leading a lifeless team. I see a team that's following the emotions of their quarterback. He doesn't play with any emotion. Okay, he doesn't. When he makes plays, he doesn't get hyped for his team. He doesn't galvanize his team. He doesn't do that. When he's on the bench, when things aren't going well, it almost looks like he's sulking on the bench. All right, and I'm not trying to pile on, okay? I am a hurt Eagles fan, okay, because I do understand that we just lost a game and where I didn't think we were going to lose. I knew we were going to lose. I didn't think we were going to. No, I knew we were going to lose. All right, a team that started 10-1 and that ended their last 7 games, losing 6 out of 7. Okay, the way they performed over the last couple weeks. This was a team that did not want to play for its coaches. And now I'm thinking that this was a team that didn't want to play for its quarterback. Okay, now listen, 2 things may be in place. Nick Sirianni may not be going anywhere. Jalen Hurts is definitely not going anywhere. So we have to figure out what's going on and what's going wrong. Do we have a quarterback problem, especially with the leadership? And do we also have a quarterback problem with the play on the football field? Because like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Hurts this year has regressed. While the numbers may look eerily similar to what they were last year, you all have an eye. You all have an eye test. You all watched these games this year and notably noticed that something was different. Jalen Hurts, 18 interceptions this year. Only 23 touchdowns throwing the ball. Yes, he had 38 total on the year because 15 came from rushing. And we know the majority of those, probably 13 of those, maybe 14, came off a tush push. Okay, so we just got to figure out, is Jalen Hurts progressing? We know the offense as a whole took a step back this year. That's not a question. If anyone thinks that this offense did not take a step back this year, comment down, let me know. All right, because I want to know why you think that. It's very obvious, besides looking at the numbers, that this offense took a step back. This offense, at one point in time, has scored 2 touchdowns in 5 football games. All right. That is a dramatic drop off, not only from last year, but from the first half of the season. All right. So what is going? There is something going on beyond the X's and O's with this football team, and Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are going to have to figure that out. Do we have a coaching issue? And do we have an issue with the quarterback? I hope that this is not a Carson Wentz situation. I'm going to be honest with you guys, YouTube. All right. I, for one, was not a Jalen Hurts fan. I went to Tampa Bay the first year that Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts was here, and we went to the playoffs. I was there for that playoff game where we got smoked, where Jalen Hurts just looked like he could not read a blitz, where he looked like he could not throw the ball, where he looked like he did not know how to play quarterback at a high level. And then last year, I'm not going to say that Jalen Hurts won me over, but what I will say is I was on board. All right. They gave him the money. I was on board. I didn't say no, don't give it to him or anything like that. That wasn't me. All right. But now looking at Jalen Hurts this year, okay, he's half of what he was in his first year, and he's half of what he was last year. All right. So was last year an aberration? Okay. Or was the first year and this year more of the norm for Jalen Hurts? This is something we're going to have to figure out. This is a quarterback that's in his 4th season, all right, in his 3rd season starting as a quarterback. So we're going to have to figure this thing out. But we know that he's going to be with us at least for the next 3 to 4 seasons, all right? So listen, do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles have a problem with leadership from the quarterback position? Please comment down below. Please like and subscribe to the video. Please let me know what you like, what you think that we should talk more about. Okay, I'm going to continue to cover the Philadelphia Eagles. I will continue to cover the NFL playoffs, and I'm looking forward to a great run. Hey, this is your boy TK the Official. This is TK Sports Talk. Go Birds.